In this video, I'm going to go over 3D text and how to create three-dimensional text. So um, let's get started. It's really easy. If I just come up to MoGraph and go to MoText, you might have to wait a few seconds, but the word text will show up. You can see that it is three-dimensional. So if I click on the word MoText, I have the attributes. I'm going to start on the word object. So please click on the word object here as a tab. And here is the field where we have what we can type. So I'm just going to put in a word. And if you're not seeing it update, you need to click inside of the scene. And there it is. But what happens when you click inside the scene, you're not selected on the shape anymore, and you're not going to see the attributes. So I'm going to click on the word MoText to bring them back. There's a few more things, obviously, we can do here. Depth. If I drag up the depth, you can see that it'll extend how long the letters will be. So you can play around with that. And for this tutorial, I'm just going to drag on a dark material just so you can see a little bit better some of the other things I'm going to do. So subdivisions. Underneath depth, I can tell it how many subdivisions I want it to be. So if later on you wanted to model some of these faces or do something with them, you can. I'll bring that back to 1. Some other just basic font things would be horizontal spacing. So I can squish these letters a little closer together, messing around with the horizontal spacing. Vertical spacing would only come into play if you had 2 lines of text, which you can do if you typed in here. If I come over to caps now, caps, and they've changed a lot with the caps, so just bear with me here. But right now, this is just a chiseled, hard, 90-degree cut letter. If you wanted to change that, you can by first, I'm going to start with step. So instead of round, I'm going to go to step. I'm going to click on the Extend Shape checkbox, and I'm going to extend this shape out just slightly. And then I can pull up the size. And if I drag on one of those arrows, you can see I've now created a stepped letter or edge. So now there's segments. I can have this be in 1 segment, 2, 3, or as many as I want. So if I did it with maybe a 2, I might want to bring the height down a little bit. So maybe that's just coming out a little bit too much, you can see. Or I can go inside as well with a negative height. So very interesting. What if I wanted not the step, but I can also go round? And you can see now it has rounded it out. If you want it even rounder, you can add more segments, and that will certainly round out that edge. Again, you don't have to have that much height. You can bring that in. You can also change the size to just be really low, and also the height really low. So just so I'll click off of this, just so you have a nice rounded edge, just like that. One thing I didn't mention, if I come back to object, I can also obviously change the font choice. So I recommend bold fonts. I wouldn't recommend anything that has too many um, uh, edges, grungy fonts or decorative fonts, and calligraphy fonts don't really work well with 3D, especially if you're going to be printing them later on, but you can change your font choice here. So this is, one last thing. This moves as one piece. However, I could change that if I make it editable. And when you make it editable, the MoText, it turns green to this blue icon. I could drop down this little plus sign, and I can click this little plus sign right here, and then again this plus sign, and now you can see I have the separate letters that I can move around. So if I wanted to just rotate this letter, you can see I can. I can select different letters now to stack if I wanted to, and rotate. You can see how that works. So I do that last because you will lose the options for the MoText if you make it editable too early. And that's 3D text. So give it a try and good luck.